Representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Pakistan thanks the Special Envoy of the Secretary General for Yemen, Mr. Ansar-Allah, and Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Tom Fletcher, for their valuable briefings and updates. We welcome the participation of the Permanent Representative of Yemen in this meeting and reiterate our support to the efforts of the government of Yemen to promote a political solution in his country. The ongoing conflict in Yemen, Mr. President, has emerged as a multidimensional crisis, graduating from the local to the regional and ultimately a crisis with global implications. We need to address the various facets of this crisis through effective diplomacy and a collective response. We reaffirm our support for the efforts of the United Nations Special Envoy Grunberg, as well as regional initiatives, particularly by Saudi Arabia and Oman, to facilitate a negotiated political settlement. Pakistan also appreciates the continued engagement of the Special Envoy with regional countries and others involved in the Yemen crisis. Mr. President, while welcoming the release of the crew of Galaxy Leader, we strongly condemn the arbitrary detention of UN personnel and the staff of international and national NGOs and diplomatic missions by Ansar-Allah, including the most recent additional detentions. We are appalled at the tragic death of a World Food Programme staff member in Houthi custody in Sada and extend our deepest condolences to his family and loved ones. These actions by Ansar-Allah are a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. Ensuring the safety and security of UN personnel must remain a top priority for the international community. There should be accountability for such actions. We call for the immediate and unconditional release of all detained personnel. Mr. President, the continued suspension of UN operations due to these actions further exacerbate the already dire humanitarian crisis in Yemen. Nearly half of the population, over 17 million people, face acute food insecurity, while climate change-induced disasters, including floods and droughts, have displaced approximately 4.5 million individuals. This crisis necessitates a well-coordinated and robust international response. We urge donor countries to enhance their contributions to the 2025 Humanitarian Response Plan for Yemen, as just appealed by Tom Fletcher, and we call for an adequate response to address the urgent needs of the affected population in Yemen. Mr. President, Pakistan has condemned the Houthi attacks on commercial and merchant vessels. We take note of the Secretary General's report of 7 February 2025, which indicates that no new incidents of attacks on shipping have been recorded in the past month. This development is obviously related to the ceasefire in Gaza. It is imperative, therefore, to ensure that the ceasefire in Gaza continues and all three phases of the ceasefire agreement are implemented for the sake of peace in the occupied Palestinian